Scary story number 14, title, Paranormal. Story begins. This happened about 6 years ago. My friends and I had a YouTube channel together, and the channel was about finding abandoned places like amusement parks, houses, restaurants, etc. We went to those places because we think that there is an urban legend that someone died or was killed there, and their spirit lives on. They all had different roles in the channel. Don was the camera guy, Tyler was the researcher on where to go in the next video, and Tara and I were the entertainers, for views. The new video we were working on was about an old insane asylum that was abandoned for over 70 years. According to Tyler's findings, the story goes that multiple patients in the asylum reportedly died there. Tyler didn't say how many died, but it was the main cause for why the asylum was shut down. However, he gave some intel on the patients we would most likely encounter. The first one was a woman who committed suicide by getting a sharp object, cutting herself from her abdomen to her chest and ripping out her organs out. The second one was a man who had autism and died from cardiac arrest from prolonged ice baths. The third one's death is unknown, but some sources claim that it was from neglect or cover-ups from the institution. The asylum was 5 stories tall and had a lot of space with rooms for patients. There were no lights or electricity since no one had used this place for several decades. It was a good idea we came prepared with flashlights because every floor was pitch black and every step you took echoed through the halls. Tara and I started with our intro, explaining where we were and giving a tour of the asylum. Tyler told us which rooms to find for the patients we mentioned before. We tried to find the first patient, so we went to the 4th floor where it took place. Once we got to the 4th floor, Tyler directed us to the room where it happened. When we got there, my face turned white. The woman's body was still there, but it was alive and sitting on the bed with her organs spilling out with blood coming out of her mouth. Her skin was as pale as the snow and her eyes were black with no pupils or irises. The woman didn't say anything for a brief moment until she sprinted at us while screaming in a low bass tone. We ran out of the room and she kept chasing at us until we were at the staircase going down to the next floor. We went to the 3rd floor where the second patient died, and like the first time, Tyler directed us again to the room where the incident took place. It felt cold when the crew and I got closer to the room. Even Don was feeling cold as he was having a hard time holding the camera up since he was shaking. The temperature didn't stop us, so we tried to power through. When we all stepped inside the room, it felt like I was in a meat locker because of how cold it was. It had to be at least 40 degrees in there. Tara pointed at the patient we were searching for, and this one was different. He was very slender, pale with black veins, fingers, and toes. His body was submerged under the icy water that filled the tub to the brim. Then he popped up from the tub and grabbed my arm, trying to go in with him. Tara helped me break loose, while Tyler wasted no time and bolted out of the room while we tried to catch up with him. "Hurry," Tyler told us, opening the door to the staircase. Luckily, we all made it in, and Tara was trembling in fear because she thought she lost me. "Come on, we only have one more patient to find and we'll leave," I said to Tara, convincing her to do this with me one more time. "You could have been taken by that thing. I don't want to risk this again with the last one we're looking for," Tara replied. Then she suggested going back to the lobby, but I told her that it wasn't a good idea to split up because we don't know who else haunts this asylum. So with that in her mind, she decided to stay for the last patient. Finding the last one was difficult since we weren't sure where he would be, as Tyler says that the information on this one is limited. We went up to the top floor, looking left and right to each room to see if the last patient we were looking for was there. We didn't find him on the top floor. However, we spotted another patient who was standing in her room without acknowledging us. Her neck was crooked and had deep rope marks around it. We left the top floor without disturbing her and headed down to the one floor we hadn't checked yet. Once we got to the 2nd floor, we heard loud bangs down the hallway. We followed the sound as it grew louder. The flashlight was shining in the direction we were hearing it. Then a leg stretched out from the corner, then an arm, and we all realized it was the last patient. Small frame with long dark hair that covered his face. He saw us less than a second and lunged at us, crawling like a spider. That was our cue to get out of not the floor, but the asylum. We ran outside the building, driving into our car, and never looked back. The channel is no longer active, and we now do different content on another channel. Story ends.